Title IX was this huge opportunity for girls and women in education, and it manifested itself with sports opportunities in ways that were never anticipated. I guess the biggest challenges early on were attitude. There were a lot of people that just didn't think that girls and women belonged on the court, in the sports fields, running on the track. And I know when I first got in the business, it was sort of an anomaly. It was a rarity for girls and women to excel in sports. Now, 40 years later, 30 years after I've been in the business, the biggest challenge is not attitude, it's money. Like, you're hard-pressed to find anybody today that doesn't think that the opportunities for girls and women to participate in sports is a bad thing. Everybody thinks it's almost taken for granted now. Now we just got to figure out how to pay for those equal opportunities. I personally love the opportunity to talk about Charlotte West. She means a lot to me as a mentor. She was actually on the search committee that hired me as commissioner of the Gateway Collegiate Athletic Conference. Really gave me my start in this business in a big way. What I find remarkable about Charlotte is that she's not only wise and visionary in remarkable ways, but she's probably the most pragmatic leader that I've ever known. I can give you one story that's one of my favorites, and it was when the Gateway Collegiate Athletic Conference merged with the Missouri Valley Conference, and we had this coming together of two pretty different cultures, the same institutions for the most part, but very different cultures. And there was this fear that the senior women administrators who'd been so involved on the women's conference side of things, that they would somehow be, subjugated, second class in a merged program, because quite frankly, that wasn't much different than what was happening at the institutional level in a lot of places. And a lot of the women that were part of the conference at the time were committed in a way that was, I guess some would characterize it almost as strident, that we had to have guarantees and minimums and, committees that said that this was going to work. And there was pushback from some of the athletic directors. And it took Charlotte West standing up at one of those meetings and saying, at some point, we just have to trust everyone in this room to do the right thing. And rather than having prescriptions for how we're going to do what's right, let's just see if we can't trust each other to do what's right and move forward. And she was exactly right. It was like this burden lifted from the room, and we became partners instead of, adversaries. It was great, and that's Charlotte. It'd be pretty hard to begin to enumerate all the things that have been special in the 30 years that I've been involved in the Missouri Valley Conference, before that the Gateway. Just so many accomplishments at, for individual athletes and stellar performances. But if I had to single out just one, I think I'd talk about the 2001 Women's Final Four. I happened to have the privilege of being the tournament director for that event, and I've characterized it many times as the most challenging yet most rewarding experience I've ever had in my collegiate career, and that stands true today. And part of what made that special was that not only was it a great success in the community and really opened up the eyes of St. Louis to what women's sports can and should be, but then we had this added bonus of having Cheryl Burnett and the Lady Bears and the incomparable Jackie Stiles as part of that celebration. And so I think that will always be the most special moment that I've had in college sports to date. The 40th anniversary was really special because it gave us an opportunity to sort of pause and look back and realize the incredible accomplishments and growth in women's sports, especially at the collegiate level. But it also gave us an opportunity to say, we're not there yet. We still have more to do. And I'm really proud of all that's been accomplished at the collegiate level. But when I look at the world outside of college sports and I see some real deficits for opportunities at the high school level, I see obviously deficits in media coverage, And I guess I still have dreams of what professional sports might look like for women's sports. And so there's a lot more that we can and should do.